is going on to all my movie fans out there, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with a brand new early Hulu original movie review, and this time we got a spicy one for you. We're talking about the new erotic psychological thriller by the name of Deep Water, starring Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas. I got the opportunity to check it out early, and I'm really excited to share my thoughts with you all and let you know if it's thrilling, if it's mysterious, and if it's hot and spicy, and if it's worth checking out on Hulu on March 18th, all in this spoiler-free review. Before we break it all down, make sure you're checking me out on all my other social media accounts. If you all are new to the channel, we are building something special here, and I want you to be a part of it. So if you love early movie reviews, TV reviews, and live streams, well, come and join the community by subscribing and hitting that notification bell. And as you can see on the screen now, if you enjoyed this spoiler-free movie review of Deep Water, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and also share this video to anyone and everyone you know that might be interested in this movie. But speaking of this movie, let's talk about it in the comments. Let me know if you were excited for the film, and once you've seen it, pros, cons, favorite moments, least favorite moments. Did you have a thrill? Did you have some good mysterious elements? Did you get hot and bothered while watching it? And more importantly, let's talk about some erotic psychological thrillers. What are some of your favorites? Let's talk about those in the comments below. So for me personally, I ain't gonna lie, when I heard Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas was gonna be in an erotic psychological thrillers, I got a little excited, if you know what I mean. But no, all seriousness, big fan of Ben Affleck, love Ana de Armas. And then we got the return of Adrian Lyne, who hasn't directed a film in over 20 years. He's directed movies such as 9.5 Weeks, my personal favorite. You have Fatal Attraction, you have Jacob's Ladders, you have Unfaithful. So I was really excited to see him back. I like a good thriller with a little bit of spice with some great actors. Is it worth checking out? Well, let's break it all down. If you all aren't too familiar with this story, it is based upon a novel. And it's a pretty simple movie. We've seen it before, right? Where you have a husband and wife who seem to be going well, strong relationship. You know, there's a bit of an age difference, but hey, to each their own. But let's just say, if Will and Jada, who, you know, I love them, if they had a movie about their entanglement, this might be it, ladies and gentlemen, because we have Melinda, who is in the prime of her life. She doesn't want to be locked down by her family. She doesn't want to be a mom all the time. So on her free time, she hangs out with her guy friends and has sex with them. And Vic seems to be okay with it, but all of a sudden, these men come up missing. So let's get into my thoughts here, starting off my positives. Man, I got to start off with the chemistry between our two leads, Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, who we're going to talk about the film, but if you all didn't know, they were an item for a little bit in real life for about a year or so, and then they parted ways. You know, Ben went back to J-Lo, and I don't know who Ana de Armas is dating, should be me, but, you know, they were dating for a little bit, and it was all based on this film. And I got to say, the sexual tension was there. The chemistry was there. They were fantastic on screen. It's toxic. It's dysfunctional. And I was eating it all up, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of them individually, you know, we have Ben Affleck, who plays Vic, who they tell us, you know, pretty early on, Vic is a happy guy at this point in his life. He is a retired drone. He makes chips for drones. Got a lot of money off of that. He now spends more time with his young daughter, Trixie. He, you know, rides his bike on his free time. And then every now and then he spies on his wife, who's having sex with other men. And there's a character in this movie who's a writer who gets kind of thrown into the mix, who's new to the neighborhood. He tells Vic, "You're a weirdo." And yes, Vic is a weirdo, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Affleck does such a good job. If you all have seen BVS, which I really enjoy that film, and his portrayal of Bruce Wayne, there's this look that Ben Affleck gives when he's looking at that Robin suit when Joker killed Robin, and he's like looking in the soul of that suit. Ben Affleck's giving you those same vibes in this film. There are so many moments where I'm just like, I'm terrified of these men that are sleeping with Melinda, you know, Ana de Armas' character, because he is just like brewing with frustration and anger, and the mysterious element, is he killing these guys, is a really interesting concept of this film. And I thought Ben Affleck did a good job of portraying that guy that's just literally on the edge of insanity because his wife, who he wants to, you know, be all about him, and he's like, oh, I'm okay with you doing this, and he's really not. I really enjoyed that performance. But Ana de Armas as Melinda was fantastic. I'm a big fan of hers. Not only is she incredibly talented, but whew, she is beautiful, and she is absolutely stunning in this movie. And the back and forth between her and Vic, and her relationship with the other man, and her relationship as a mom, and just seeing the different layers of Ana de Armas, I thought she was great. There's a little bit of a moment in the film where they kind of touch on her mental health, that there might be some screws loose in her head, and it kind of plays into the narrative. But I just really enjoyed her performance. I really had a good time with her, and she is definitely, you know, normally in these movies, we see the woman's crazy, right? The woman is the one that's that's trying to trap the man, get the family, the forced family, have a kid, and really kind of lock him into a relationship, spying on the husband. This is not this film. It's Ben Affleck doing all those things. You can tell, and the film doesn't explicitly say it, but you get the tone and you get the idea that it's a scenario where you have an older man who's retired, who's probably on a vacation. He came across this beautiful young woman who's in the prime of her life. He loves her. He wants to have a family. He gets her pregnant. He kind of traps her in this relationship and kind of forces this family on her. And I kind of love the way Melinda plays into that. So again, the chemistry of our two leads, who could have maybe in another world been, Ben Affleck as Batman, and she could have been Ana de Armas as Catwoman, or, Poison Ivy. In a perfect world, this is what it would have looked like if that would have happened. But I thought they were great. But I would be lying if I say they were my favorite parts of the film, because they were great. But the MVP standout actress for me was a young lady by the name of Grace Jenkins, who plays Trixie. I want to say she's like maybe 6 or 7 years old. She's their daughter in this film. Oh my goodness, Trixie was just a adorable little kid, but she was also fantastic in this movie. She brought the laughs. She had me dying at points. She is just, and this is a scene that's like a really serious scene where she's talking to her dad about, hey daddy, the kids at school are saying you're killing mommy's friends, and the back and forth that they have, one of my favorite scenes. But that little girl, she has a moment at the end of the movie. She gets the spotlight, and I thought that Trixie, this is a young up-and-coming actress. Not only does she look like a kid that could have been made by Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, but she's able to like play into her parents' personality. There's a little bit of Vic in her. There's a little bit of Melinda, and I thought that little girl was fantastic. So transitioning into some other things that kind of stood out to me. The thrills wasn't all that great, but the mysterious aspect was really highlighted in regards to, okay, is Vic killing these men? And if so, how does Melinda feel about that? The mysterious nature of these characters, their deep rootedness of depression and unhappiness, and what that leads to. I enjoyed that element. And I gotta say, if you all do not know, Sam Levinson, who is the creator of Euphoria, which is one of the most toxic shows on TV, and I love it, he is a co-writer of this film, and I could just imagine Sam Levinson was in the writing room being like, you know what, if I can bring one of my toxic characters into this movie, who would it be? Can't be Rue, can't be Cassie. I got it. Let me bring in the most toxic character on my show, Nate Jacobs, played by Jacob Elordi. He has a moment in this film, and I thought that his moment was one of the highlights because it really kind of switches the film on the more kind of mysterious, thrilling aspect of the film. So Sam Levinson, he definitely brought his toxicity into this film. So all that stuff worked. And again, we're not promoting toxic relationship or dysfunctional relationships or marriages, but this film, it gives you that drama, it gives you the tea, and I was mostly entertained by those elements. But there are some criticisms that I have here. I mentioned that this is the first film in over 20 years by the director Adrian Lyne, and I have to say, at points, you kind of felt that. I felt like there were some really odd directing choices. He's not the editor of this film, but he gets the final cut, right? And there are editing choices that were just very weird. It would feel like incomplete scenes at points. And I talked a little bit about Sam Levinson, but I have to admit, again, he wasn't the sole writer. He's the co-writer of this film. The script wasn't all that great. I was looking forward to this film, maybe diving deeper into the thrilling elements, diving deeper into kind of that Gone Girl elements where it's just like we're seeing this toxic couple, and I wanted more of that relationship and more of that development. But the film has like this weird tone that I felt was a little bit off at points, especially in the first half. I think the second half is the most thrilling aspect of the film and the most entertaining aspect of the movie. And the climax is a little anticlimactic, but focusing on that first half, as far as the weakest part of the film, they introduced like their group of friends, which, you have the comedy, you have Lil Rel. I thought it was a lot of miscasting in their friends, and it felt like really odd. Again, it felt like the film was like shot at one point, they had a break for the pandemic, and then they came back and tried to pick up where the pieces were, and you kind of felt like it was disjointed at that point. So I will say the first half and the mixture of kind of comedy, which there are some funny moments in the film that are intentional, but it was also some comedy beats that I don't feel were meant to be funny that I found to be hilarious, because I felt like, is this a parody of like erotic thrillers? And I felt that way, not in a good way, in a bad way. And then lastly, when it comes to this narrative here, like I said, I wish that the film would have focused more on when you get to the third half of the movie and something happens and you see how toxic they are. I wish we would have focused on that a little bit more, because in the trailer, we see Melinda and Vic at the park, and she's doing something to him. She's like, why are you the only man that wants to stay with me? I wish we would have dove deeper into why she gets into his hook so much. I wish we would have focused on that. And then last thing I mentioned, not that I was looking for a pornography film, but I've seen my fair share of erotic thrillers, and I gotta say, it wasn't all that hot and spicy as I wanted it to be. Now, for some people, they were like, Elliot, what did you expect in this film? Trust me, when if you've seen enough erotic films like I have, there was it felt like it was kind of caged in. It was really contained, and I think, because I don't know if you all remember a couple years ago when the pandemic hit, there was a Hollywood report that came out that says that the safety guidelines on these movies is going to be less kissing scenes, but also less sexual scenes. And I think this film was heavily affected by that, because a lot of the sex scenes, again, I wasn't looking for porn, but a lot of the sex scenes, they were like fully clothed. There are, obviously there's boobs and butt and stuff like that, but it wasn't pushing the envelope like I was expecting to see in this film. So again, for all my more fans of like erotic films, it's not as spicy and hot as I wanted it to be. Again, beautiful people throughout the film, but it didn't really push the envelope like I was looking forward to. But hey, those are my main cons. Before I give you my overall thoughts on my score, if you haven't already, make sure to like this review, share it, and more importantly, leave your thoughts in the comments and come and join the community. Overall, Deep Water has really great chemistry with our two leads. We have an up-and-coming star with the young girl who plays Trixie. I like the mystery elements. There is a lot of toxicity to be said and how it handles toxic relationships and how it can become something that can be very dangerous. But I do have my criticisms with the script, some of the editing choices, and I wish it was a little bit more spicier than it was. But overall, if you like these type of films and you want to see a pretty interesting movie, give this a watch. I'm going to give Deep Water a solid 3 out of 5. Like I said, I want it to be a little bit more juicier, but ultimately I was entertained by the film, and I think you will be as well. So if you give this film a shot, let me know your pros, your cons, favorite moments, least favorite moments. Did you think it was spicy? Did you want a little bit more spiciness? And also share your favorite erotic thrillers in the comments below. So thank you all for watching the review. Before you leave, again, make sure to like, share, comment, come and subscribe to the community and hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching this review. Hope you're staying safe. As you can see on the screen now, subscribe to my channel. Check out my other content. We'll catch you in the next video.